Vincent van Gogh, people told him, you can't be a great painter, you only have one ear. You know what he said? I can't hear you.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with KJ and Dalt. Proudly powered by 302 Birds. Let's take it to the show.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sippin' Sports podcast with Dalton, KJ, and Ryan. Just Dalt and Ryan here this morning for you guys. I was telling Ryan before the show, I apologize for the lack of communication with this show. That's on me. I have been doing a move, going through some stuff there. And as I'm getting settled in, painting, building, other than that, I don't really have to do anything else. But moving, those things. I've been doing that. So just trying to get everything set up, get everything settled so I'm comfortable, and then I can create the best content for you guys in our new studio. But what's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Sippin' Sports podcast, one of your guys' favorite, if not your favorite, Philly sports talk morning show. A lot of stuff is going down right now in Eagles free agency. We got Phillies Spring Training happening. But if you guys want to call into the show and be a part of the show today, we would love to hear from you and what you have to say. That number is 302-316-4848. Come on, one more time, 302-316-4848. Let's get some calls. Let's get this phone popping, ringing off the hook. I want to see some of you guys ringing up this number. But Ryan, I'll start with you, man. We'll just address the elephant in the room. How excited are you about Tariq Woolen coming to Philadelphia?
I'm pretty fired up. I think there's a huge upside when it comes to him. I think that it stabilizes the cornerback position. Adoree Jackson had a rough start to the year. Now, when he finished the year pretty good, let's not act like he was horrible throughout the entire season. But I think this lines him up great with the Gene and Quignon, and it's going to be great. But I'm not even worried about that. I'm worried about the safety position and much beyond that.
Yeah. Good morning, Jesse. You are on Sippin' Sports Podcast. How you doing today?
Good. We doing good, man. How we doing today this morning?
We're good. How are you feeling about Tariq Woolen?
Yeah. So I saw that. I saw you guys started off the show talking about him, and honestly, I love what Howie's cooking. I absolutely love what Howie's cooking. Last year, 12 interceptions, a crap ton of pass breakups, and me and Adam on the Philly Sports Pulse last week, Thursday, we sort of broke that one down, and Adam was talking about how sticky he is in coverage, in man coverage. And that's exactly what we need, because we need an upgrade over guys like Keely Ringo and Adoree Jackson. I know Adoree Jackson, back half of last year, had a better go at it, but that secondary, it was a little rough last year, and I think Tariq Woolen will be a massive addition to this Eagles defense.
I agree. I think it's interesting too, right? Because when you first hear three names, and when people will look back on this team next year and see Cooper DeJean, Quinyon Mitchell, and Tariq Woolen, they're going to go, whoa, they really had a surplus at cornerback. Why would they overspend at corner? Well, when you think about it, they're not overspending, right? Because you still got Coop and Quinyon on their rookie deals. So if there's any time for the Eagles to make this play of having their big three at cornerback, their lockdown secondary. Would they call them the Legion of Boom over there in Seattle? This is going to be Philadelphia's version of that. Like, this is going to be the best secondary I think we've ever seen since Brian Dawkins, Sheldon Brown, Lito Shepherd, like that legendary 2004 secondary or 2003 that the Eagles had. This is going to be comparable to it, if not better. Ryan, what do you think?
I tell you this, I think that it's going to be great. I think he's a great player, and I think there's a lot of upside to him. Now, he has shown flashes of bad play, and let's call it what it is. Seattle fans are, they felt good about him, but they didn't feel great about him. He had some. Look, if you roll the tapes on the guy, you will see he has some defensive breakdowns here and there. He's not all perfect. I think there's a lot of upside. I think it's a great signing by Howie. I think it was the right price. 1 year, $50 million, like whatever. I think it's a smart move. See what he brings to the table here, and I think that he's going to be an outstanding player. But let's not act like it's all perfect with the guy. There's some flaws to his game. He has some defensive breakdowns, and Seattle fans were quite pissed with him a large majority of the time. And if you roll back some of the clips in the NFC Championship game versus the Rams, the guy completely just botched the one touchdown pass. I think it was Puka Nacua. So let's not get it twisted. So, look, I agree with you guys. I think he's going to be an outstanding player here. It's a great signing by Howie. But let's not deter from the fact that there is some flaws in his game that have to be talked about.
Yeah, there's definitely things that need to be fixed. I think that's fair to say. What do you think, Jess?
Well, I'll tell you what, another aspect of things that, not a ton of people are talking about. This is not a big hit on their cap. And we can talk about the whole deal with Dallas Goedert, A.J. Brown, and that effect on the cap. This is nothing. This is a $3.4 million cap. That is nothing. The Eagles using the 50% rule to prorate $4.7 million in his salary, and it's 4 void years. So those numbers coming to us from Jason_OTC on Instagram. He's the founder of overthecap.com. Good follow there on Twitter. But listen, I will take a low risk, high reward signing like that any day of the week. And especially with this contract crunch situation with a bunch of these players coming up, you still need to bring in Jalen Carter. I think this is a move that I would make 9 times out of 10.
I agree. I think that there's a lot of upside to it. I think that he could be an outstanding player, and I think that he is a very good player. There are some flaws to his game. Like you said, the cap hit ain't too much. I don't think the salary's too much. I think it's a perfect signing for, you want to stabilize cornerback too, right? Like Adoree Jackson wasn't great. He wasn't perfect. He wasn't horrible either. But you want somebody that complements Quinyon. And you also throw up pair him in there with DeJean. I think that there's huge upside, and I think that he's going to really help out this defense. But like I said, you just can't ignore the flaws. But I do agree that this is a very good signing.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it's a low risk, high reward. Whoever just said that, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, you get a 1-year deal, see what this dude's got, and for him, it's also the same thing, right? Low risk, high reward. He gets to come in 1 year, try out an organization that has quite the reputation, but a good reputation too amongst players. See if he really wants to be a Philadelphia Eagle. See if he's about that life. And if he is, great. He can sign a longer-term deal. If he's not, he's not. And, I think the Eagles will probably look to sign Tariq Woolen to a longer deal if he proves it next year. And then you're going to see either Coop or Quinyon walk in a couple of years because they're not going to be able to keep all 3. And also they're kind of like, from a business standpoint, the earlier you get in, the earlier you pay someone, the less it is in the NFL because that price is always going up, 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 up. So if they can get it out of the way to pay that cornerback quicker, Tariq Woolen next year or the following year, rather than Coop or Quinyon, or both of them rather, in 2 or 3 years, Coop and Quignon is like fucking having 2 kids in college at the same time as a parent. Like, God bless you. Amen. Hallelujah. How some parents are able to afford that tuition of 2 kids in college at once. That's what the Eagles would basically have to do with Coop and Quignon. So God bless them. We'll see how it goes. Going to be difficult, but they'll figure it out. Anything else you want to say on that, Jess, or anything else you want to say at all? We're going to open up the line to some other callers too.
Yeah, sure. Before you do, I'll tell you what. I don't think this takes us out on Jonathan Bernard. You know, I really think that he is a perfect fit for this Eagles team. That report coming from a reporter that I don't want to out you too much, Dalt, but Diana Rossini.
It's all good. I mean, I don't claim us the best, as somebody said, not to interrupt you, but somebody said to me one time, they're like, 302 Birds, you need to do a better job as the media. I'm like, we're the fucking media? I thought we were a meme page this whole time. So it's all good. Like, I don't claim to be a media source. We're more of a fan page, if anything, but we're cool with that. That's what we want to be, but you're good. You're good. I don't know who Diana Rossini is, and that's what Jesse was referencing. Is this chick, Diana Rossini, has all these reports left and right about AJ Brown, and finally got to the point where I'm like, who the fuck is Diana Rossini? And he's cracking up in the chat. I'm like, I don't fucking know who she is. Why are we even listening to what she says? And she could be credentialed. She could, have an impressive resume for sure. But I don't know where she's getting her info on AJ Brown, but it's probably not good.
KJ hit you with a you're killing me small reference, and that got me. But yeah, that was good.
Where were you going with that though before? Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah. No. I think he would be. I just think he'd be a great fit to this Eagles defense. Especially without Jalen Phillips, Reed Blankenship, Jacoby Dean. You got to replace some of these guys somehow, and I think Bernard would be a huge win. And facing the fact that we got Woolen on a little bit of a steal, I think there's a way that we could give him a contract that, wouldn't kill us in the cap hit department. And I'd be totally down for that. What do you guys think?
Broad, you can go.
I mean, I agree, but I think that there is 3,000 other things that this team needs than Bernard. I mean, I really do. I think I look at the safety position. You cannot possibly roll into the season with Sidney Brown and Andrew Makuba. That's not a championship-winning safety group right there. I think your offensive line is still not good enough. I mean, who knows what happens with AJ Brown? I mean, you could draft somebody, you could pick up. I mean, whatever you want to do there. But I'm just saying, and I look at this, and to me, I just look at 3,000 other positions and a couple weak spots on this team, and I say, well, we have to upgrade safety position. If you want to bring in another linebacker, whatever. I mean, I get it, but at this point, man, you're going to roll in with Bourne, you're going to roll in with Jahad Campbell, like that. Like that's who you're going to roll in with. I would be in favor of bringing in another defensive end. I mean, but my main concern right now is we just lost a ball hawk in Reed Blankenship, and we lost CJGJ twice already. He ain't coming back, So I look at this and I say, man, I need a safety. I need somebody back there that can tackle. I need somebody back there that can pick people off. I need somebody that is, by the way, I have hope in Andrew Makuba. I have zero hope in Sidney Brown. That guy, I mean, it is like, he is one of the worst football players I've seen in my life. He sucks. He is completely uncoordinated. He's horrible. And I don't care if Dennis is watching or not. He sucks. Okay? He sucks. He's horrible. So, again, I said this before I wrap this up. You cannot roll into the season with Makuba and Sidney Brown and say, yeah, that team, that defense is going to win a championship. It's just not possible. It's not possible. You need a safety. You probably need another defensive lineman, defensive end preferably. You need somebody. And you need an offensive line because I'll tell you this, Lane Johnson's banged up. Juergens is banged up and sucks. Mailata had a bad year. Dickerson, who even knows what's going to happen there? You're going to run it back with Matt Pryor. I mean, who you run? You need backups anyway. The season. And I tell you this, we'll probably get into this later. And I don't think this is even a hot take. This team is a 9 or 10 win football team next year. 11 at max. 11 is the ceiling.
Okay, that's absurd.
No, it is.
That's absurd.
I'm telling you this right now. I
think to separate the two, just to be clear too on what Broad's saying, because I see what Broad's saying, but I see where you're getting confused, Jess. He's saying right now, this team, work done, is a 9 or 10 win team. And I see what you're saying, Broad. I could agree with that. Like, correct.
Like, I'm not saying, you know what? The free agency isn't over. I mean, the draft hasn't happened. Who knows what any of these players are going to be? Because we just heard Jahad Campbell is out. Vanjo drops his bomb, saying that his shoulder's banged up and he's not going to be ready for the All. I mean, what are we talking about? Since when was he not healthy? Again, it's just so right now, currently, my mind tells me 9, 10 wins, 11 ceiling. And I mean, you could change me as I see who gets added, who gets drafted, what happens during training camp, how I feel towards the season. But right now, after what happened, Mannion's unproven, Sirianni blows. I mean, this defense, the secondary, the defense is kind of losing its pieces. They're still going to be I still think they're going to be very good. Maybe not as good as the past 2 years, but you could buy me back in if you get a safety. But I mean, who knows what's going to happen here? Jalen Hurts really has to step it up. Who knows what A.J. Brown brings to the table? Our offensive line still isn't good enough. Our running back, who knows what Barkley's going to bring to the table? Is he going to be like 2 years ago? Is he going to be last year? There's too many possibilities, and right now I don't have the answer to any of them, and I don't think anybody does. 9, 10 wins, 11 as a ceiling.
I think that's fair. Look, my thing is this. I do agree with what Broad's saying. But, I mean, I think we'll all agree, right, on this. This is something we'll all agree on. This is probably the most important draft for the Eagles in the past 5 years, hands down, because they are so depleted. Like, look, after last year's Super Bowl, we were depleted. And after the Super Bowl in 2017, we were depleted. But we haven't been depleted like this in a long time. Like, they lost pretty much everybody now, especially defensively, and the offensive line ain't getting any younger is the problem. And you have an expiration date in the NFL as any player, especially as an offensive lineman, which is the most violent position or one of them in the NFL. So,
and by the way, and I don't mean to interrupt.
Yeah, you're good.
But just because you brought up offensive line, dude, like you think about it and you say, well, for the longest time ever, Howie Roseman always drafted. Not in the most recent years, of course, but like over the course of the past little bit, 10 years, whatever. He has drafted backup linemen like Juergens. He's drafted people that can fill into the next Kelsey, can fill into the next late, that can fill into the role. And that's all fine and dandy. He's gotten away from it. And now we have to go back to drafting offensive linemen, but we don't have Jeff Stoutland to grow these players anymore. I couldn't even tell you who our offensive line coach is. I remember his name, but I don't even remember his name. He's a nobody to me. We ran Jeff Stoutland out of the building before we ran Kevin Patullo out of the building, by the way. And so we're going to have to go back to drafting an offensive lineman. Who knows if they can even do it? And I don't even trust the offensive line coach to grow the players. I mean, what are we talking about? That's another reason, man. Our offensive line coach is unproven. Our offensive coordinator is unproven. Our offensive line's banged up. I mean, it's just like a disaster. You really put everything on the table. Like you said, Dort, this team is getting depleted. They're too old. People are unproven. The coach is on the hot seat. You draft so many defensive players so many times in a row. That's all fine and dandy, but then you lose the next pieces on the offensive side of the football, and it's a scary place where they're going to be coming up in this draft because they have to nail it perfectly. I mean, one screw up to me kind of puts them behind the 8 ball, really.
Yeah, I mean, because you look at free agency, there's not many people out there that are left. I mean, there's a couple of guys, but it's like, look, your odds of getting a player like Jadeveon Clowney or one of those players that was good 3, 4, 5 years ago to come back and be good is slim to none. It can still happen, but it's not, you don't have a good shot of it. So the Eagles really, 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 like Brian just said, need to hit not just a home run, but a grand fucking slam to put themselves back in that position to say, like, all right, like we want to be winners. We want to go get another Super Bowl. Saquon Barkley is same thing. He has an expiration date too. Like, we need to win in this window while Saquon's here, while Devontae Smith is here, while Jalen Hurts is still playing efficient football. Like, 5 years from now, there are going to be a lot of things that aren't going to be the same. And I'm not going to sit here and be negative because that's not my style. That's not something I like to do. But I will say this team's going to look a lot different in 5 years. A lot different. It could look different at QB. It could look different on offensive line. It could look different defensively. It could look different at coach. They need to seize the moment and win now while everybody's together and make the best of it. Jess, what do you think? I want to give you one more take before we hop off the phone, too. I appreciate you calling in, brother.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. Yeah. Well, it's not like the rest of the league is going to get worse. The Cowboys, I hate to say it, but they have a foundation there that is looking on the up and up. The Giants just got Harbaugh. They still have Jackson Dart, who is looking like one of the better prospects on the up and up in this league. The Rams are trying to trade for A.J. Brown. They still have Puka Nacua. The Packers will get healthy at some point with a godsend in Micah Parsons. So if the Eagles do not figure it out, this league is full of sharks, and they will be a hunting.
Mm-hmm. Well said. Yeah, you're right. Well, Jess, we appreciate you calling in, man. I hope you have a great Saturday. And if you guys don't, please tune in to Philly Sports Pulse every Thursday with Jesse Sharon and Adam Dent. It's a great listen.
Appreciate you, brother. Absolutely. And also, we got. I'll do a little plug. We got merch now. It's on the 302 Birds bonfire merch store. Go check it out. It's fire. It's Nike. It's awesome.
Perfect. I'm glad you like it, man. Go check it out. Thank you, Jesse. Have a good weekend, man. We'll see you.
Sounds good. See you later.
If you guys want to call into the show, the lines are open now. We'll leave them open for a few minutes. 302-316-4848. That's 302-316-4848. But, yeah, as far as the Eagles go, I mean, I'm nervous, Broad, because there's just so much at stake.
Yeah.
And I think we are in a good position with Howie Roseman and players like that, but there's still a lot of work to do.
Call from
Boston X.
You know, Boston, when your number popped up on here, it popped up as a spam number.
Nah, I'm using my my backup phone. My regular phone is broken.
Oh, so in typical fucking New England fashion, you fuckers call into the show on a burner phone? All right, yeah.
What's up, my favorite Philly fan?
How you doing, man? What are you doing calling in the show? You're going to talk about A.J. Brown and how your fucking Pats are going to try to trade for him?
You do realize at the end of the day, I'm a football fan?
Yeah, I know that, but you're a Patriots fan. It's okay. I mean, own it. We'll talk about that. I mean, it's entertaining. We'll see what you think. Do you want the Eagles to trade A.J. Brown to your team, or you're like, fuck that, I don't want a player like that that's going to bring all that drama?
I mean, we had Stephon Diggs last year, so anything's possible.
That was funny.
I wouldn't mind AJ, but like the price you guys are asking for him is pretty absurd. But I feel like if anything's gonna happen, it's gonna happen at like the June 1st date, towards like beginning of the season. Because right now nobody wants to trade for him right now. The price is too high. But if anything gets done, it's in June.
Now, from what I understand though, with the June 1st date, it helps the cap. From what that's the correct assumption, right? It helps the cap. That
Yeah, I think it
I
would
did
be
hear
like a
that.
difference of $16 or $17 million.
Right. I did hear the report, but I wasn't 100% sure. So that June 1st date helps the cap space for trade. Okay. All right. I got you. Okay. Yeah. That's what I thought it was. But that's what they're going to do anyway. I mean, to me, at this point, they're going to end up keeping the guy. That's where we're at. They are. I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I could see you
can't
guys
get rid of him.
keeping him.
No, I just love the way you
He's a
talk
good
about. You make
player.
me laugh, bro. This is why I love doing the show with you. You keep it real, and that's how I wish more Philly fans were, because it's like, look, do I want AJ Brown out of here? Yes, but do I want good value for him? And do I think also? Let me ask you guys this, right? Well, we're on the topics of the Patriots. Broad, we'll start with you, and then I want to get Boston's take on it because I feel like I know your answer. I would have jumped on this in a heartbeat. We traded for A.J. Brown a first and third to Tennessee. Right. He ages 4 years. We get a Super Bowl and a couple All-Pro seasons. And then we're lucky enough that reportedly the Patriots offered us a first and a third in exchange for A.J. Brown, and we declined it. Do you think that's stupid because that's effectively like renting him, or –
I think I would have done it. I mean, I would have done it. I mean, look,
me too.
And I've been saying this. I've been saying this to you, Dalt, as long as I've known you, and as long as we've been doing these shows together now, talking about AJ Brown. The cat's got to go. The cat's got to go. He's horrible, and it has nothing to do about his play. But you know what? You lost me when you gave up in the NFC wild card. You gave up. You lost me when you stopped running routes. You lost me when you read a book on the sidelines. You lost me when every friggin' week when Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert got more catches than you, you went to the media and bitched and moaned nonstop. You lost me when you took it from when being a pro and being a captain and a pro and a leader to being some sleazebag on a high school football team. That's what you took it to. I lost respect for you. Let's call it what it is. I lost respect for the guy. I think he's a tremendous player when he's happy and when he wants to be there. But to me, how can you keep somebody on your roster that obviously doesn't want to be here? It's not about like, is his value good? Is he regressing? Even though I thought he somewhat regressed. You know, it has nothing to do with that. A player doesn't want to be here anymore. And he's effectively taking out his anger on the field, not running routes, not trying hard enough, dropping passes, going to the media and complaining. Those are all things that are like, hey, you know what? We got to get this guy out of here. Because to me, you know what? I think Devontae Smith can easily take over number one. He's done it before. And again, I would have done it. And I think they're going to end up keeping him at this point. I mean, I think it helps his team tremendously. I mean, let's not lie. You know, he helps his team tremendously when he cares. But it's like, you know, you just get to a point where you're tired of it, man. You know what I mean? You're tired of the lies. You're tired of him complaining. You're tired of the drop passes. You know how many times in my post-game show I wrote down in my notes, I could probably go through my book right now, where in this book, I have A.J. Brown stops running routes and stops trying and stops running hard enough. I can find probably 10 damn times.
You should ship that book to him to read on the sideline. He should read that book.
I mean, really, yeah. I mean, it's just like a joke. The Patriots can have him. I don't care who has him anymore. Because to me, like we said, Dalt, like 5-10 minutes ago, we are in a championship window that's closing with new coaches, a team that's banged up, people leaving. And to me, if you want to keep this band of brothers together in a way, you know what I mean? You want to keep the band of brothers together. You want to keep, you know, the chemistry strong. So hopefully they can, you know, keep this going and hopefully get further in the postseason. You got to get rid of the cancer in the locker room. You got to get rid of the cancer in the locker room. And by the way, I don't think enough people talk about it. Him and Jalen Hurts don't like each other. Let's call it what it is. They don't like each other. And you know what? You cannot have beef and animosity between your starting quarterback and your number one receiver. It don't work. And it's time for him to go. I'm tired of the cancer in the locker room. I prioritize chemistry and like brotherhood. He doesn't have it anymore. And there's no reason to keep somebody on a football team that doesn't want to be here and doesn't care the way that the fans do and the other players do. I've lost complete respect for A.J. Brown. He is he's a scumbag. He is.
No,
I mean, let's just call it what it is.
No, yeah, you're right. You're right. You're not wrong. Like, you can't do this stupid shit and then expect not just any football fans, right? NFL fans in general are a different breed, but Philly fans, it's like poking the bear. That's why I'm laughing when Broad's back here with his notes, because he's all of us. That's how we all feel. Like, look, we love the memes. We love the jokes. We love the unseriousness, but not when you're not doing your job. Not when it comes as a result or a lack of you doing something or disobeying or being disobedient to your coach. Like, we don't like that. That's not a good way to earn a Philly fan's respect. The way he acted in that playoff game would be a red flag to me. But I want to pose this question to Boston. Boston, all right, you see what A.J. Brown's done in the playoff game, screaming at Nick Sirianni in the face. You see the way that us Philly fans, being me and Brian, have reacted. Do you want him, being that you guys were so close to a Super Bowl next year, you feel that you can, or last year, you feel that you can fix him? Or are you like, you know what, seeing the way that these Philly fans react, I don't want that guy. I feel like there are better options. How do you feel?
Honestly, I want AJ mostly because it was his old coach. But as a football fan, he is a cancer in the locker room. He loves to fucking blame the media, but he can't catch shit when it matters because he wants to be a cancer. He needs to get his shit straight. Like, realistically, I'm a football fan before a Patriots fan. So the way AJ was acting all season yesterday pissed me off. All last season pissed me off. Wanted to not run routes right. Wanted to half-ass everything. That's not a receiver. You getting paid millions of dollars to what? Lollygag on the field to do some bullshit and then yell and blame all your coaches and offensive coordinator. I mean, yes, Kevin Patullo did fucking suck last year. Let's be real. But yeah, he's a cancer in the locker room. But I think if he comes to New England, Vrabel probably won't let that slide. Like Stephon Diggs, he changed everything about Diggs. But Diggs had all that court stuff, and you can't change the person in real life. But yeah, the price we were giving you guys, I feel like it was reasonable, but I don't blame you guys wanting a second-round pick instead of a third-round pick. But yeah, like if AJ is gonna come here, he has to get his stuff straight. Like, no bullshit. We have to win the Super Bowl.
Wait. Jesse, I want to address something. How did he play? I know the second Super Bowl, you're 100% right. He had that huge touchdown catch. He played great. Him and Devontae both balled out. It was an ass whooping, but they also both played good. I don't know. Did he have he might have. I don't know how many he had in Super Bowl 57. I'd be interested to see.
I know he had a touchdown.
Okay, he did. So did he not have a touchdown in the second Super Bowl, or he did?
I know the first one he definitely did, because I remember
he had both.
He had the two guys on him, and he was on the back of the end zone, like you know what I mean? Like I remember that one. I don't remember about the last Super Bowl when we won.
No,
but I know he didn't play bad either.
He had a touchdown, but he had 3 receptions for 43 yards and 5 targets. So, like, look, he had a touchdown, and he averaged 14.3 yards per catch. But I would say that he balled out in the first Super Bowl. I don't know that I would say he balled out in the second one.
He only had 3 catches for 43 yards.
And you know what? Jesse in the comments is saying that he balled out in 2 Super Bowl. That's perfectly fine. But, by the way, let's not act like this is the first year that he was acting like a fool online and in front of the media. He did it back in 23, if I'm not mistaken. He's been doing it. He's been doing it the entire time. We just won the Super Bowl, and 2 days after he says, "Oh well, winning the Super Bowl doesn't feel like I." What are you talking about? What are you talking about? This guy.
Shut up and hold the trophy, right?
No, I mean, you just want, like, everybody grows up. For me, I played baseball my whole life. One of the things I want to do in my life was eventually hold a World Series trophy. Obviously, that's not the path I took, okay? That's not the path I took. I'm not going to end up holding the World Series trophy, at least playing for a team. But this guy, everybody plays a sport where they want to grow up and hold that trophy for that specific sport. A.J. Brown, Jalen Hurts, they all grew up playing a sport, football, and hoping to hold the Lombardi trophy. He gets it, and so it doesn't feel the same way. It doesn't feel. What are you talking about? I mean, this guy's a disgrace. Then the next year, oh, well, anytime I don't get over 5 catches, I'm just going to go complain and force my way out of the building. I'm going to turn the fan base against me. And then when the fan base turns against me, they yell at Roseman, they yell at the front office, and then they're ultimately going to move me anyway. That's the way he took. I'm outsmarting this guy. He's not going to outsmart me. I mean, I can see right through everything he does. So don't lie. Don't tell me he did great in the Super Bowl. He did, right? He was fine in the Super Bowl. But this guy has been acting like this for a long time. We have no room for it. We have no place for it. The guy's almost freaking 30 years old, if not 30 years old. Time to grow up. Time to grow up. You cannot win when there's beef between your quarterback and your wide receiver. Can't win like that. Won't happen. Can't happen. And it's time for him to go. It's just what it is. I'm honest. He's got to go.
Where did the relationship, do you guys think, go sour? Like, right? Because I think that there was a point where it was a little bit repaired because Super Bowl 59 would have never happened. Like, you see, there's also a clip too. And I don't think Jalen Hurts is a perfect quarterback, right? Even a perfect leader. I don't think he's a perfect leader. But I think he's a pretty dang good one. So if you're A.J. Brown and you can't get along with Jalen Hurts, you're telling me that you're going to be able to go out there and get along with some of these other quarterbacks in the NFL? Like, it might be fucking grass is greener on the other side. But once you're playing there for a couple of weeks and you get comfortable and you're like, all right, I'm not doing what I want to do, and you feel comfortable enough, you're going to open your mouth and do the same shit. My thing is this. They had Ryan's right. They had Super Bowl 57 where they still didn't like each other, and it was evident then. Then it kind of got repaired. I don't know what the fuck happened because throughout the 2023-2024 season, when they lost first round to, I want to say it was the Bucks, Baker Mayfield, right? Yes. That year that they got humiliated. There wasn't as much of this. Why? Because A.J. Brown was putting up his all-pro stats then, but the team wasn't winning. Then they kind of got their shit together. The team was winning. There was still some of this drama, but when you're in the playoffs and you're winning, you're going to look really fucking stupid if you're and you're winning by a lot. Like, you're going to look really dumb. So he kept his mouth shut. He did what he was supposed to. Then he had a couple big games. He felt like he was satisfied, won the Super Bowl. In the Super Bowl, there's a clip of A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts where Jalen Hurts looks at him and he says, I am proud of you. Like, straight up. Where the fuck did that relationship go sour? Is it just we suck now? Did it go sour after week one?
It went sour when his quarterback wouldn't give him the football. That's where it went sour.
Yeah,
and you know what I mean?
Week one when he didn't get the football.
Yeah,
so you guys think it's week one. As soon as this offense got involved, you think he was just like, you know what? Fuck this. This guy's an idiot. Like, we don't need this dude at QB. We just want a Super Bowl because of me, Saquon, Smitty, and the team around him, not him.
I mean, if you think about it, and I think the caller just brought up a great point. When we were winning games this year, specifically the Vikings game, I'm drawing a blank one, but when we were winning games this season and we weren't forcing the football to A.J. Brown, the offense looked great. I mean, I wouldn't say great, but it looked much better than it did. But then every time he complained, we had to spoon feed the football to A.J. Brown. And he's dropping passes. He's giving up on routes. But just because he was getting his targets and his catches, he was okay. He was perfectly fine. But now, as soon as it is like, hey, you know what? You're injured, or we're going to give the ball to Goddard or Devontae Moore, whatever it is, you know, the offense looks 1,000 times better. And I brought this up to you, Dalt, over the, for the past little while, is that I think things change with A.J. Brown, and this doesn't really have to do with Jalen. I think that's a whole separate topic. But I think things with A.J. Brown changed when Saquon Barkley got here. Because for a long time, A.J. Brown was the lead guy. He was the face of the team. He was the wide receiver one. He's getting over 1,000 yards. He's getting a bunch of touchdowns, bunch of catches. He's like, he's the man, right? He's the man. Then we bring in Barkley, and Barkley goes for 2,000 yards. He's the offensive player of the year. Everybody loves him. He's like a god in Philly now. Like, all this stuff. You know what I mean? I think things went sour for A.J. Brown when he realized he was not the number one guy, number one option, number one loved player on the team. It was Saquon now. I think that bothered him. And now he's looking at it and saying, well, yeah, Barkley had a bad year. Barkley had a down year. Barkley had a down year, and I didn't have a good year, and people still love Barkley, and I think it all came down to Saquon Barkley. It was like, well, if I'm not going to be the leader, if I'm not going to be loved by the fans, if I'm not going to be the number one guy on this team, then I'm just going to force my way out of here. The fans can have Barkley. I'm getting out of here because I have to go be somewhere where I am bigger than the quarterback. I am bigger than the running back. I am bigger than the coach. I have to be the guy. That's his mindset. And he was upset after the Super Bowl because we won that Super Bowl, not necessarily because, Barkley didn't win us the game, but Barkley took us to the friggin' Super Bowl. Let's call it what it is. The defense took us to the Super Bowl, Barkley in the defense. He was upset because he wasn't a big reason in winning. And he still wasn't a big reason in winning last year. It wasn't Barkley either. But I think it came down to Barkley, and I think he realized Jalen Hurts isn't evolving as a quarterback. He isn't throwing better. He isn't progressing better. He's still, if his first read isn't open, he doesn't know what he's doing. I think he's upset with the quarterback play. I think he's upset that he's not the number one guy. I think there's a lot of things involved with that. But I think that Barkley situation is getting overlooked.
Yeah, I think that's a great take, Broad. I didn't think about it that way. And I think as soon as Barkley came on this team, he kind of switched up because he wasn't that 2023, 2024 season AJ that the offense ran through AJ. It didn't run through anybody else but AJ Brown. And I think once it became the Saquon Barkley show and then they had success, he kind of had to act like he was okay with it. But now that you bring it up too, Broad, in that clip in the Super Bowl where AJ and Hurts are talking to each other, Hurts looks genuine. AJ kind of looks like he's just, you know how when AJ says something, but you can tell he has that look in his eye,
like
kind of half means it.
He's got that nasty smirk, bro.
Yeah, or he'll say something, but he'll go like this. He'll go,
yeah.
And you're like, did you really mean that? And I don't know. I'm not trying to throw AJ Brown more under the bus, right? Because I think that the Philly media does that enough. To be clear, we are not the Philly media. Once again, we're a fucking meme page. You know what I mean? No, we're not a meme page, but we are a podcast by fans for the fans. So we're not around the locker room. We don't have access yet. Maybe one day we will, and we'll be able to better report on it. But right now we don't. So I don't want to sit here and
your mic's muted, Dalt. Dalt, your mic is muted. Or is it me? Your mic's tweaking out. Yeah, you got to mute your mic, Dalt. You got to mute your mic, bro.
Better now?
Yeah. Gee, dude, it was spazzing for a little bit there. It was spazzing.
Sorry. Yeah, these damn MacBooks. But long story short, what I was trying to say is I don't want to recklessly speculate, as Hugh Douglas says, right? I think that's such a great term because I think a lot of the media does that quite often. That's the last thing I want to do to AJ Brown. That doesn't help. That's not going to get us anywhere. And I think he's already struggling enough. So I do think there is still a slim chance that we see him get traded, but it probably won't be until post June 1. And then who's the receiver you guys just got, Xavier?
We signed Romeo Dobbs.
How are you feeling about Dobbs? Do you think he's enough to replace Stephon Diggs, or do you think you need to go out and sign AJ Brown, or is that a one?
Dobbs is a great player. He has. I feel like we could develop him more than he is right now. Dobbs is a great receiver. I mean, he's a good target for us, but we need a main wide receiver one. People say wide receiver one, but half the league doesn't have a wide receiver one.
That's actually a good fucking point, bro. You know what? You're right. You're right there. But
I hate the media wide receiver one. No, half of the league don't have wide receiver one. Tennessee doesn't. Cleveland doesn't. A bunch of teams don't. And Buffalo definitely doesn't have a wide receiver one because their weapons suck. They just signed Calvin Austin.
Wow.
Not even gonna say anything else.
So let me ask you one more question, Xavier, before we hop off the phone with you, and we'll open up the line to one more caller because that's all we got the time for. But I'll ask you this, Xavier. If not the Patriots, where do you see the Eagles potentially trading AJ Brown?
Realistically, probably the Rams, but I don't want him to see him there because they already got Puka and Devontae.
Mm-hmm. Dude, that
And
would
if you
be a
guys don't trade him,
three-headed
just keep
monster.
him and
That would
then
be
get
about
rid
the
of him next
dumbest thing the
season.
Eagles could do.
Yeah, I feel like.
Sorry, there's a fucking
AJ's
cat
gonna go to
outside
the
my
Rams
door.
realistically.
Anyway,
buddy,
I'm going to go
Ritoro.
see what the street cat is up to. Maybe this is the sign that we do need to get this cat out of here, like Broad was saying earlier. There you go.
Yes. Yeah,
But Xavier, I appreciate you calling in, man. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Go USA, motherfuckers.
Go USA is right. Let's go, baby. Well, Xavier, take care, man. I'll see you.
All
See you,
right.
bro.
Talk to y'all later. Peace.
It's a good man right there. He's an okay Boston fan. I love to bust his balls. But if anybody wants to call in, we got time for one more caller. 302-316-4848. All right, bro. I'll ask you this before we wrap up, too. We'll talk a little bit of Phillies. How you feeling about Phillies spring training? Off to a little bit of a rocky start, but it's also spring training, so don't want to overreact.
I don't feel good about it, and I've been honest about you. I've been honest about that since we were bounced in October. I don't feel good about this team. I don't feel good about Rob Thompson. I don't feel good about Schwarber coming back. I don't feel good about Trey Turner being the winning the batting title again. You know what I mean? I don't feel good about Bohm batting fourth and playing. Like I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about the fact that Andrew Painter's up here. I mean, he's looked good during the spring. I'll give him credit. Painter's looked very good throughout the spring. I don't know what he's going to look like when he's asked to go 5-6 plus innings because he's only pitching 2 or 3, and really during the AAA, he was only pitching a couple innings there too, and no Wheeler. Who knows what Nola is going to bring to the table. I know he had an outstanding game for Italy, but I mean, who knows what he brings to the table. So I don't feel positive about this team. I'm just out. I mean, I am. They're going to buy me back in because that's what they always do. They always buy me back in, but currently I'm out. I don't feel too good about it. And I'll tell you this, I think this is not getting talked about enough. Bryce Harper has looked horrible for what did he go last night? 0 for 4, 0 for 5 last night? You know what I mean? Like, what are we doing here? He looks significantly slower to the fastball. He's not catching up. He's getting benched. I think there is some serious concern for Bryce Harper there. I don't feel good. I don't feel great about this coming into the season. I think Harper's looking banged up, late to the fastball. But this team's going to probably win 90 games, and we'll be right back where we were. But currently, I don't feel too great. And I see Jesse in the comments here. He says Alec Bohm. He does it every single spring training. Every single spring training. And by the way, if Alec Bohm didn't bat fourth and then he batted 7th or 8th or whatever, everybody would love him. Everybody would love Alec Bohm if he batted 7th or 8th. But here we are. He's batting 4th. And that's not on Alec Bohm. That's on that sleazebag idiot Dave Dombrowski. That's who that's on. So I don't think Dombrowski's smart, by the way, and I've made that clear for days. But let's be honest. We're not going to win with Bohm batting 4th. Adolis Garcia is mid at best. Bryson Stott hopefully has a good year, but I highly doubt that. Turner's going to go right back to normal. Harper's just looks like he's lost. It actually looks as if Dave Dombrowski is in his head. You know what I mean? Like when somebody gets in your head and you're like, everything I do, it confuses me. It actually looks like Dave Dombrowski's in his head with the Natalisa. He looks horrible. And it's scary. I mean, it really is. I mean, let's just be honest, though.
I mean, yeah, you're right. You're 100% right. And sorry, Vince, you want to call back in, my guy, you're more than welcome. Sorry I missed that. The street cat outside. I have a smaller dog, so I'm making sure that there's not going to be a fucking street fight when I take my dog out there to go to the bathroom later. So that's why I'm trying to see if this cat's out there because, I think my dog would win, but at the same time, I don't want to fight if that's possible because I don't need another vet bill. But yeah, there's a lot of things that the Phillies need to get together. They have a lot that they need to work out on the field and off the field. That's why we all feel so disillusioned. I'm going to watch I'll go to a couple of games. I'm going for the experience. I'm not going with expectations. Like, yeah, I know I have on the hat and the hoodie. Make fun of me if you want to. But at the end of the day, it's business. Like, what we do is business. Win or lose or suck ass. We're going to be there either way. That's what Philly fans do. I just want to see this team actually make a push in the postseason this year. Give us something to fight for. Give us something worth watching. Give us something that we can get excited about, because it's just been so long since I feel like we've had hope with this Phillies team. There's been ups, there's been downs, it's been left, it's been right. If I said Eagles, I'm sorry, I meant to say Phillies. But yeah, this Phillies team just we need a glimmer of hope that it's not over, because right now it feels like it's over. It feels like they kind of are out of their window. I'm just going to call it like it is. I personally feel like they might be out of their window now, and some people might be disillusioned thinking that they are. Can they get back in the window? Certainly. But they better play some damn good baseball, and Bryce Harper probably needs to have a career year. Bryce Harper needs to have one of his best seasons he's ever had. And he needs to lead. He can't just play good baseball. He's really got to be able to lead and get guys look at Alec Bohm, right? He's on the cusp of greatness, but at the same time, he's his own worst enemy. And it's not for his play, like you said with AJ. It's mental shit. So to me, looking at that as a fan, Bryce, what can you do as the $330 million man? I'm not saying you need to be his fucking therapist, but be a leader. See what you struggled in your career. Give some advice.
And look, you know what? If Bryce Harper sat here and coming into the spring after the not elite comments and everything else, everybody thought and was like, you know what? If we see a very good Bryce Harper during spring training in the WBC, then we are in tune. We are intact for a Bryce Harper that is going to be an outstanding MVP caliber player this year. And he had a decently good spring before he went off to the WBC. Now he's at the WBC. He's facing some of the best players in the world, and he looks lost. I mean, let's just call it exactly what it is. Bryce Harper looks lost. He's not catching up to the fastball. It looks like he's in his own head. It looks like Dombrowski's in his head. So, like I was saying, man, if Bryce Harper was having a great WBC and hitting a bunch of homers, driving in a bunch of RBIs, everybody would say, you know what? We're going to have an MVP Bryce Harper. But we're looking at it where Bryce Harper is looking bad and doesn't look like himself. And that's quite scary, because you got a guy on this team that's a $300 million player and supposed to be a leader, and you actually actively see him regressing. I miss when Bryce Harper would show up big time in the postseason moments, like 23, 22. We don't see that anymore. Bryce Harper, to me, just looks dead. You know what I mean? And he's been playing professionally, since he was 19? He's 32 now, or 30. He's 30-something. At some point, your body catches up to you. He's been playing at such a high elite level. And I don't know. There is some concern for me with Bryce Harper. And like you said, I need to see him actually, play and be a leader to somebody like an Alec Bohm. Because there's too many young guys on this team that are just lost and they need direction. But I don't see Bryce stepping up to the plate to be the direction.
No, I agree. I think I hate to say it like this, but sometimes I think Kyle is more of a leader than Bryce Harper. And that sounds insane.
Yes.
Coming off of the tongue, I don't even like the way that sounds. But when you think about it, sometimes the best way to lead is by staying cool, calm, and collected. And look, I don't mind Bryce Harper's emotion at all. I think it's awesome. Until it starts to be how do I want to put it? Not a cancer, but an infection to the team. Other guys think that they can have that same swagger or edge that Bryce, Alec Bohm, you're not fucking allowed to throw off your helmet or get ejected from a game. You do that and I'm fucking pissed. Bryce Harper does it, we're not as pissed, right? Bryce Harper has earned the right to do that, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But even then, you're walking on thin ice, Bryce. Even then, you're not the same player that you were. So you got to know when to toe the line. There was a game we went to last year in August. I think it was actually the debut of Bader, when Bader came out, and Duran, that Friday night game when they had on the City Connects, and Harper got kicked out of the game. He got ejected. Was I upset with it? It was later in the game, so not as much. Was I drinking? Yes, that probably had a little bit of an effect on it, of why I wasn't as upset. And also, like, what Broad is saying is so, like, we all as Philly fans have stopped caring so much over the past 2 seasons. Like, we don't care as much as we used to a couple of seasons ago. And that's, like, it's kind of depressing, but at the same time, it's also realistic. That's why I'm not mad at any Phillies fans, because it's like, I get it. I get where you're coming from. It's been exhausting being a Phillies fan the past 3 to 4 years. It's going to be exhausting being a Phillies fan this year. And it's just like, when is this team going to finally put it all together, get their shit together, and just say, fuck, enough? And I really hope that this is the year, because if there's any year that Bryce should have a chip on his shoulder, it's this year.
They're not. I mean, let's just call it what it is. They're
You're
not.
right.
You know,
Right.
I miss when regular season baseball actually mattered, right? Like in 22, regular season baseball mattered. 23, regular season baseball mattered. Even 24, for the majority of the season, regular season baseball mattered. Now you look at it last year, you've seen that it was dying off. These people still go to the stadium. But for diehard fans like myself, man, you know, it's just like, the regular season doesn't matter anymore, because they do the same thing. They start the year hot, they go cold in the middle of the winter, in the middle of the summer, and then towards September, August, you know, they start to heat up a little bit again, and it's like, you know, it's annoying, because they're just going to win the 90 games again, and they're going to have everybody fired up. They're going to post the hype videos, and it's like, you're not going to show up in the postseason. You're not going to be able to win with your pitching staff going out there pitching scoreless innings, turning it over to the bullpen, and your manager throwing in the same guy 4 nights in a row. You're not going to win when your $300 million player can't friggin' put the bat on the ball. And it's not going to help when Alec Boehm's batting fourth and rolling in the double plays over and over and over again. It's not going to work. It's not going to work. Regular season baseball doesn't matter anymore. The diehard fans, like, just get me to October and whatever. You know, obviously I'm going to watch mostly every game during the regular season, but it doesn't matter like it once does, because I just want to win the games, and then I get to the postseason and it doesn't matter anymore. It just doesn't matter. They lose. They have no hype. I remember when walking into Citizens Bank Park as an opposing team, you were scared. You were afraid. You were like, oh, my God, I can't even hear myself think. Now I don't even think the stadium's as loud as it once was. I don't think the fans are caring as much, because I don't think the players care as much. I think the players are out of it. I think the players are like, you know what? We're getting paid either way. Who cares? We didn't do it before. We ain't going to do it now. You know, I think that's where they're at. And I remember when fans were, other teams were scared to come there. Now they go in and they win games. We're basically getting swept out of our own stadium in the middle of the postseason when teams were afraid to come here. You cannot look at the way this team is going, the trajectory, and just everything, and say, yeah, you know what? This team can win a championship. I don't see it, and that's where it is. I don't see it. I'm not bought in. I think this team needs new direction with Dombrowski. And that's just the bottom line. That's where I'm at. They don't have the juice. They haven't necessarily fully lost me, but they don't have the juice anymore. And I think the fans are losing the juice. And that's where it is. Regular season baseball doesn't matter. Bryce Harper isn't good enough, and that's where we are. That's how I'll wrap that up. We're just not good enough anymore. Just not good enough. I think our window is closed, and if it hasn't, it's definitely shut after this.
So I think you beautifully put that, especially how we all feel. Just spent, windows closed. Would we be happy to root on this team? Sure. But we're not going to change up until we see anything different. I think that's where we're all at as Philly fans. I don't have anything else to say besides that. I know we've been going for about an hour. We started a little bit later, so I apologize for that. I will be better about sipping sports now that I'm in my new place. We'll also have our normal branding, the normal lower thirds next week. It won't just be this call-in, so it'll be more entertaining, a better product overall. My apologies for that. It's just been busy. And then I'm trying to catch up on sleep too and all that good stuff. But to the OGs who tuned in this episode, I appreciate all you guys. I love you guys. If you haven't, if you're a regular, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Go over to our guys' channel, Broad Street Sports, on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Give him a follow. Give him a subscribe. He's working his tail off over there. And we really support what he's doing. So I would appreciate it if you could do the same. But other than that, that's all we got this Saturday. Stay safe. Be smart out there if you're going out for St. Patrick's Day. Wear some green. And anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
I don't know. You bring up a good point. Wear some Eagles green, man. wear a little Eagles shirt out there, huh? Wear a little
and
AJ
smile because the team can't ruin your day.
Yeah.
It's already ruined going into it, so you can just wear the jersey for the hell of it. You already know what the outlook with the team is. It can only get better from here. Is the good part.
You know what? You might as well walk in there wearing an AJ Brown jersey because you're going to walk out of there not caring. You're going to walk out of wherever you're at not caring. That's what it is.
That's exactly good advice. I like it. Well, stay smart. Stay safe. Appreciate Broad for jumping on here. KJ McCoy is down in Charleston, if that's why you guys are wondering why he's not on here. And really quick, I want to give a huge shout out to our show sponsor in Balboa Steaks and also their restaurant, Founding Brothers. If you guys want a good spot to get a green beer today, pound of green beer, go down to Founding Brothers on Main Street in Newark, Delaware. Tell them 302 Bird sent you. I really appreciate it. We're going to hit that ad for them, and then we're going to hit the outro. I'll see you guys next week on another episode of Sippin' Sports. Take care. God bless. Go Phils.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. The final word. The boldest take. The mic drop moment that hits harder than a Rocky's right hook. This is the Knockout Punch, powered by Balboa Steaks, the undefeated king of Delaware steaks. Bold takes, big bites. Let's swing.
Listening to Sippin' Sports, a Phillies sports talk morning show with KJ and Dalt. Proudly